And there is just a tremendous opportunity for us as business people to really understand our business, the way it's moving, how it's set up. And no thing will help you more than having the understanding of how you would like to define your business as it moves forward. How you start will determine how you finish. It's really important to understand that. So in a lot of my previous videos, and if you've been following me for a bit, you understand that I'm all about the $1 million blueprint, right? And the $1 million blueprint is simple. You get 3,300 people to spend $300 a year with you, you make $1 million. That's the wide method, right? Get about 3,000 plus purchases to spend right around a little over $300. You make $1 million. Right now, that's not a ton of purchases. It's only about 60 purchases per state. So does your service or solution help 60 people in every state in the United States? And if the answer is yes, well, then that's cool. And that's generally a simple product that's delivered digitally or delivered through the mail, direct response. So real cool stuff. So that's simple and cool. That's the wide method. And a lot of entrepreneurs go out and they choose that. And it's very, very smart, little expensive, because believe it or not, it's harder to get somebody to buy a $300 product from you when they don't know you, haven't experienced you, haven't touched you. So there's a lot of things, there's a lot of touches, there's a lot of nuances that go into building that. The second way to make $1 million a year is to sell 333 $3,000 products. Now, you might say, wow, what's a $3,000 product? Well, a $3,000 product in digital marketing could be a really cool group, right? So you can build a group of 300 plus people that spend about $3,000 a year to take your 10-week or your 12-week or your 16-week course where maybe you're delivering weekly, right? And this is one of our favorites, and you'll see I do a tremendous amount of these because this is my jam. I like to interact. I can go a little bit wide, but still get a great response and make some money. And in that case, I'm touching about 8 people a week. I'm closing about 8 people a week, and that creates a great income stream for you. In our case, our starting groups are $49.97. So we do a little bit more with a little bit less. So if you chose a $5,000 product, you could do it with 200 people. If you chose a $10,000 product, you could do it with 100, right? So that's the deep, right? I'd rather go a little deep with people than go wide, right? Wide could be the downsell, but that's your second way to make $1 million. So that's real, real cool. But then there's the third way. A lot of people choose this way, and we've chosen this way as well. And that's to go exclusive. And exclusive is when your price point completely removes you from the marketplace. Now, it's not for everybody, but it is for those people who want to be defined. When I opened my first salon, I wanted to be defined. I wanted to be the most expensive because what it did was it allowed me to sit at a new vantage point and eliminate competitors. And we talk about this in one of my videos, and I know that I don't know the link right offhand, but I'll make sure at some point you can find it. But if anywhere on my page you go to the videos, I'm sure there's a link somewhere in there where I really define all of the case studies of how we used these 3 different ones to build a rockin' brand. If you're into building a rockin' brand and you want to go to the next level, then you might want to consider which one of these, why deep or exclusive, are you going to focus on in the building of your business, because each one of them requires a completely different marketing strategy. If you're building out marketing strategies, you understand that building out one is expensive. Building out 3 simultaneously requires 3 teams, 3 budgets, and 3 different avatars. You're talking to completely different people. So determine what your superpower is. Where do you get the best connection? Are you getting connection wide? You're cool, you're funny. People, they can see a few pictures of you, a few videos, and then they're going to buy your $300 course. Well, that's great. You're going to go wide. You're going to have a great life because it's a lot of work in the marketing behind the scenes, but it's less work in the deliverable. You build it once, sell it 1,000 times. So we love that one. The deep, little bit less work in the deliverable, a little bit more work when you're actually having to perform, because people are looking for you to manage and facilitate those live events. You basically invited them to a live course and they get to interact with you on a once a week or a twice a week basis for a determined period of time, and they're willing to pay more money for that. The cool thing about that is that generally requires a live close, so it's kind of cool. We like it. We enjoy that one. Then there's the next one, right? So that's the deep is the group, the one too many, but live. You pay a little bit more money. You get a few hundred people on that, man, and you're making bank. You're enjoying yourself. And here's the cool thing. No one knows who you are. In any of these, you can make $1 million a year and no one really knows who you are. You're not a household name, but you're wealthy. And you're on your way to being really wealthy. So think of it. Do you want to go wide? Do you want to go deep? Now, exclusive. That's where you separate yourself. When we opened our first salon, I wanted to be exclusive. I came out with a $100 haircut in 1989. No one was doing that. Everybody thought we would fail. It was a little less. I think it was actually, when I came out, it might have been 70 or 80. And then by the end of the year, it was 100. And I grew and grew and grew. The average haircut at that time was $17. So I went out and I said, I'm going to attack the marketplace and I'm going to be 5X. Right? I'm going to be 5 times more than everybody else, which is very important because it forces you, that exclusivity forces you to really look at what you're doing and how you're doing it. It pushes you to really become articulate in your value proposition and how that level of value differentiates you from everybody else. And here's the thing, that that level of value could be as little as 10%, but the 10% can make all the difference. That 10% can make all the difference. Cutting, when it comes to maybe cutting hair, that little bit more gives you so much more. When it comes to a car, right? The differentiation between 100 horsepower and less weight determines everything. It takes a $50,000 car and turns it into a $500,000 car because it's arriving 2 seconds faster. Just 2 seconds changes the price exponentially. And it starts to put you in a very, very exclusive club. And when you learn the language of that club, you get to make $1 million. You could charge $20, $30, $40, $50,000 for your package. And at $50,000, you can work with as little as 20 people a year and bring in $1 million. And you still have to build a team around that. We could talk about that later. And everybody who comes into my group coaching knows that I really talk about the essence of your team and what that looks like and how do you deliver these things. But the idea of today's live video is to listen, man, go out, figure it out. Which one do you want to be? Do you want to be wide? Do you want to be deep, or do you want to be exclusive? That's the question for you today. And the way you answer that question will change the way you look at your business, because it really defines the market. It helps you define the avatar. And when you know who you are, then you know what you're going to attract. And you could stop being all things to all people. And eventually you might have all 3 of these rocking out your business. Like if you look at Tony Robbins, he has wide, he has deep, and he has exclusive. But he didn't start out that way. He started out wanting to be wide and discerning himself, right? And I would say it was really kind of in the seminar business. He went a little wide deep, right? He wanted to be a little bit more than his predecessors. But remember this and never forget, Tony started by promoting Jim Rohn and others. Tony already had a list. He went out and he built his list on the backs of other great orators, speakers, and presenters, right? It just didn't happen, right? So he went wide, and then as he went wide, he said, man, maybe I could take 20 or 30 or 40 of these people and put them in a smaller group, right? And he developed Mastery University so that he went a little deeper with those people. So he went wide. Here's my seminar. Then I go Mastery University. And then right around 2001, I think it was 2001, he developed his Platinum Partnership, which has been massively successful. And in his Platinum Partnership, he's probably grossed over an additional $200 million to his business. But it didn't start out from day one. He went wide, then he went deep, then he went exclusive. Now, for others, if you look at how we developed our salon business, we went exclusive, then we went deep, and then as we started to build out more and more locations, we went wide. And you see a lot of service businesses doing that, right? You see Mercedes-Benz, they came out with really great cars, or Porsche's a better example. They went exclusive, and then all of a sudden they thought, oh, let's do something and let's go a little deeper. They came out with a Boxster, right? And more entry-level cars, the 944. So more people. Then they went even wider, right? They went from very, very, very exclusive to a bit wider, and then they started coming out with the SUV, and that actually turned their company around and made them profitable. So you can see this is in every business. Every business is run like this. If you want to learn more, if you want to understand marketing, man, I'd love to do that with you. And find the link. There's going to definitely be a ton of links on all of our videos. So, connect to the link and jump into one of our very, very deep one-to-many classes and jump into one of our programs. And they generally last anywhere from 3 months to 12 months, depending on which one you jumped into. But it's all about putting your product together with the right marketing strategy that's going to work for you. Not the marketing strategy that I use, because that one might not work for you. The marketing strategy I use is always exclusive, and then I go to a little deep and I really avoid wide. For you, you might want to start with wide and get to exclusive. Both are right. We teach them both. I'm an expert in both of them. I'm excited to talk to you, and I will see you guys soon, man.